Morning America for our viewers in the West. Fears growing over a wider war as the U.S. Secretary of State touches down in Israel. Overnight, missiles raining down on Gaza, reducing more of the region to rubble. The Israeli Prime Minister vowing to crush and destroy Hamas as Israeli defense forces prepare for a possible ground incursion. Inside Gaza, desperation growing. Entire neighborhoods destroyed by Israeli bombs. Hospitals overwhelmed and nearing collapse as President Biden warns Iran to be careful. And this morning, new details on 25 American lives lost in the brutal terrorist assault. This as at least 17 other Americans are still unaccounted for. Our team is on the ground across the region.
Speaker Scalise, House Republicans nominate Steve Scalise, but then delay a final vote with a divided GOP threatening more chaos.
The star witness in the trial against Sam Bankman-Fried set to be cross-examined. The former king of crypto's ex-girlfriend and former business partner set to face the defense after saying he didn't believe basic rules about lying and stealing applied to him.
Armed and dangerous. The urgent manhunt for the suspect who gunned down a former college dean. Police in Vermont release a sketch of a person of interest.
New use for Ozempic? What the maker of the popular drug used for weight loss is saying about a trial for treating kidney disease.
Taking on TikTok, which state is now suing the social media giant, with the governor relating the rise of the app to the growing mental health crisis.
Billion with a B. We've got a winner for the second largest prize in Powerball history. So who's getting the $1.7 billion?
And this summer, we got the Barbenheimer blockbuster crossover. Now we're falling for Era Song. Beyonce, front row at the premiere of Taylor Swift's concert movie, already breaking records. Who run the world? These girls.
Live in Times Square, this is Good Morning America.
So who run the GMA desk this morning? These girls. These girls.
We fell into our formation. Here we are.
Feeling very sisterly love this morning. Lots of news to get to, including the breaking news on the strikes across the country. Talks have been suspended in the actors' strike. Plus, thousands of auto workers unexpectedly walked off the job last night.
Also ahead, Linsey, where prices are heading on everything from gas to used cars and what it could mean for the Fed's next move on interest rates. That, of course, has an impact on your credit card bill.
It does. But we're going to begin with the war in the Middle East. Secretary of State Blinken arriving in Israel this morning, meeting with Prime Minister Netanyahu. Israel is ramping up airstrikes in Gaza as its forces mass on the border for a possible ground invasion. President Biden reaffirming his support, but saying he told Netanyahu that Israel has to operate according to the rules of war, emphasizing that there are rules of war, even amid all the anger. Our team live across the region covering the latest developments. World News Tonight anchor David Muir again leads our coverage from Tel Aviv. Good morning, David.
Robin, good morning. Great to be back with you again this morning. And as you know, Israel now saying it conducted a large-scale targeted strike overnight on key Hamas targets. As you mentioned there, U.S. Secretary of State Antony Blinken on the ground right now. As we come on the air this morning, he's meeting with Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu. Blinken, upon arriving, saying the U.S. has Israel's back today and will have it tomorrow. And this morning here, for the first time, the Israeli military taking us to the community that many here are calling ground zero in this massacre, and what we witnessed firsthand.
Good morning, America. It's 8 a.m. Fears growing over a wider war as the U.S. Secretary of State touches down in Israel. Overnight, missiles raining down on Gaza, reducing more of the region to rubble. The Israeli Prime Minister vowing to crush and destroy Hamas as President Biden warns Iran to be careful.
TikTok under fire, the latest state to sue the social media giant, saying it lures kids into addictive and unhealthy social media habits.
GMA Health Alert, the latest on the trial studying a possible new use for Ozempic. Could the drug help treat kidney failure? Dr. Sutton joins us live to break it down.
Together in Pink this morning, looking at people diagnosed with breast cancer without finding a lump, how they knew something was wrong, and what kind of breast cancers present this way, plus the symptoms you can look out for. And we're throwing a spectacular quinceañera surprise for 6 young women live on GMA. You don't want to miss it. As we say,
Good morning, America! Woo!
Live in Times Square, this is GMA.
a great way to celebrate Hispanic Heritage Month, and we cannot wait for that surprise.
And we got a little sneak
We
peek
did.
of the reaction. It is really sweet. Looking forward to that, but we do want to get right to the top stories breaking at 8. Starting with our top story, the war in the Middle East. Secretary of State Blinken arriving in Israel this morning, meeting with Prime Minister Netanyahu.
Israel is ramping up airstrikes in Gaza as its forces mass on the border for a possible ground invasion.
So let's go back to James Longman, who's live there in Tel Aviv for us. Good morning again, James.
Yeah, good morning, Robin. Secretary of State Blinken is here meeting Prime Minister Netanyahu as this country responds to that horrific terror attack. But there is mounting concern for the people of Gaza.
It has been such a special morning here on GMA, celebrating these amazing, beautiful young women. Before we go, we cannot forget, let them cake or cupcakes.
So we've got our cupcakes here, and we're going to dig in. And as we do that, we have so many people to thank for our spectacular morning. Balloon Kings, Cupcake Cafe, She is Cheval for providing the shoes, and of course, Madeline Gardner and Morley brought these gorgeous gowns and gifted them for our big celebration. Thank you so much to everyone. Congratulations.
Thanks so much for watching, everybody. Have a great day. And happy quinceañera.
It's lunchtime in America, so what are we serving up?
Well, how about everything you need to know?
That sounds pretty good.
GMA 3, what you need to know. A third hour of GMA in the afternoon.
So join us
For everything you need to know. I love that.